Okay, I can't figure out my phone. I've deleted the videos that I've already uploaded, and yet it's not giving me back the hard drive space or whatever you call it on the phone. So it says I've used up all my memory. That's what I'm trying to say. So I can't, uh, and my computer is so old that I'm not able to get enough. I can't get it to interface any longer to connect up or sync up, whatever you call it, to be able to dump some stuff off my phone without deleting it onto my computer. So I'm kind of stuck. So I'm going to try using my tablet to record with instead and see if that works. So I left off. I want to get back to this Rolling Stones CD because that's what I've titled this thing at, and I don't want people getting upset that I'm not talking about the CD. So the next song on the CD after uh, Sad, Sad, Sad and Mixed Emotions, where did I put it? It's over here, is Terrifying. And it goes like this. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, I'm lazy as a lion. My body's just for you, crazy for you. I'm sneaky as a snake. I'm dirty as a dog. I'm rutting like a goat. I'm horny as a hog. Terrifying love. I get these strange, strange, strange desires. You're graceful as a bird. My heart is on the wing. You're gentle as a dove. If hummingbird could sing. Crazy for you. You're running like a deer. I'm wily as a fox. You're faster than a mare. I'm stronger than an ox. Terrifying love. I'm darker than a bat and tougher than the rat. That's just some of the lyrics to this song called Terrifying on the Steel Wheels CD. Okay, then I have some comments here. The obvious contrast here is between two such things as a sneaky serpent, such as was in the garden, and a gentle or harmless dove, etc. This seems to portray the kind of cat and mouse situation that will become part of everyday existence for Christians during the tribulation. I heard recently from the video They Sold Their Souls for Rock and Roll that Sting admitted that the song by the Police, Every Breath You Take, was actually a reference to a time when the government will know everything about everybody on Earth. And then I start talking about subliminals and how you can kind of spot certain little clues in advertising if you look for it. This is written a long time ago, so some of these ads that I mentioned here are long gone by now. But if you remember, there was once an airline ad advertising low fares by saying, "Do you want to get away?" And then they'd say, "Well, now you can." And then you'd hear the sound of a airline pilot coming on the intercom as if on the airplane saying, "You are now free to move about the country," suggesting that subliminally that maybe there's coming a time when you'll want to get away and you won't be able to, and you won't be free to move about the country. So that's the kind of thing that if you start to know what to look for, it's everywhere. There was an ad for Home Depot one time when I first learned to look for this kind of stuff. The first way I heard it was on the radio, and I was half asleep, and I happened to have my radio playing, and this military-sounding commander starts commanding to his troops and saying, "Men, we're going to go into the backyards of America, and we're going to cut down the enemy. And if he rises up, we'll cut him down again." And I later saw the television version of the same ad, and as he was saying that, they showed airplanes, like military-style airplanes, parachuting various lawn equipment down into the backyards of America and cutting down weeds. Well, that gives you kind of a clue of how they feel about certain parts of the population that they don't like and they consider to be weeds. Okay, I'm going to skip down a little bit, but I want to mention also here there was an album by Emerson, Lake and Palmer, if you remember who they are, which sadly Keith Emerson just passed away. Reports were that he killed himself. It's very sad. The thief only comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I was a big fan of that band when I was young. But they put out an album, a couple albums. One was called Brain Salad Surgery, and another called Tarkus, that are pretty significant. But on Brain Salad Surgery, there was a song, if you could call it that, or a movement, or whatever you want to call it, first impression parts 1 and 2 of the song is titled Karn Evil 9, Karn Evil 9, the number 9. And it starts out this way. The first impression part 1 starts out like this. Cold and misty morning, I heard a warning, born in the air, about an age of power where no one had an hour to spare. Where the seeds have withered, silent children shivered in the cold. Now their faces captured in the lenses of the jackals for gold. I'll be there, I will be there. And I wonder if that could be referring to someone like the Antichrist. But then this is the significant part right here. It says, suffering in silence. They've all been betrayed. They hurt them and they beat them in a terrible way, praying for survival at the end of the day. There is no compassion for those who stay. Okay? That seems to fit right in with where we are in our Rolling Stones CD, that there are some who fly away and there are some who stay. And those who stay are met with no compassion. If you skip down in this same lyric, it suddenly changes from speaking about who's going to protect what's left of humanity and this kind of thing. Can't you see, I'll be there, I will be there, to heal their sorrow, to beg and borrow, fight tomorrow. And all of a sudden, the whole song changes its mood to one of almost like a circus or a sideshow. And it's all like, step right up, come and see the show. And it says, step inside, hello, we've a most amazing show. You'll enjoy it all, we know. Step inside, step inside. We've got thrills and shocks. I'm not going to read it all. I'm going to skip down. But this stanza, it says, left behind the bars, rows of bishops' heads in jars, and a bomb inside a car, spectacular, spectacular. If you follow me, there's a speciality, some tears for you to see. Misery, misery. Roll up, roll up, roll up, see the show. I'm going to skip down a little bit more. Not content with that, with our hands behind our backs, we pull Jesus from a hat. Get into that, very blasphemous. So they're making fun of the church, of Christians, and it's a big show. Now it's tears for you to see, misery, misery. It's like a big show to see what's happening to these people who stay. There is no compassion for those who stay. And then, of course, the part of the record that sometimes got played on FM radio, welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. There behind the glass stands a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass, move along, move along. Obviously very futuristic, very Soylent Green, very, remembering back to the day when there was still a normal kind of a world, and now all normalcy is gone. I'm going to skip down some more. This part. Soon the gypsy queen in a glaze of Vaseline will perform on guillotine. What a scene, what a scene. Obviously, a significant mentioning of guillotine when you consider the subject. Beheading fits right in with the idea of those who are left behind. Okay, I'm going to turn back now to the Rolling Stones, but I wanted to kind of, you can't help but think of that album as well, fitting right in with this album, okay? And I had a little note here because when I wrote this, the movie, one of the Star Wars newer movies, I mean, there's so many of them now you can't keep track, but you know how they had started with episode 4 and then they made 3 different movies, and then they were done for a long time, and then they started making some more again. And the new batch started with one where they kind of went back and showed where Darth Vader came from in the first place, how he started out as a good guy, and there was the Emperor or whatever it is, and he says that they've got all these guys sort of situated into the peaceful world, and they pretend to be good guys. But he starts out by saying, execute order number 66, and suddenly this terrorist regime takes over the world and kills all the good guys. But it's interesting that it's order number 66, because that's 666 mark of the beast, and stuff like that. So the next song after Terrifying is called Hold On to Your Hat. We just mentioned guillotines. Um, Hold on to your hat. This seems to describe how they feel about those who refuse to take the mark but remain faithful to Jesus while being hunted down. And the first words are, hold on to your head. Hold on to your hat. You're screaming down the alley and never coming back. Get out of my bed, get out of the sack. This is the fourth song on the Steel Wheels CD. That's the fourth, right? Okay, where'd we go? You're screaming down the alley and never coming back. Get out of my bed, get out of the sack. Don't give me no lip, don't give me no crap, no way. Get out the madhouse, tear it all down. Get out the madhouse, burn it to the ground. Get out of my face, get out of my shack. Now you've had a fair share, you had a fair whack. Hold on to your butt, hold on to your hat. You're heading out of here and never coming back. Hold on to your head, don't give me no rap. I've had it up to here with your yakety yak. So it sounds like they're really mad at this group of people that they call the madhouse. They're going to tear it all down and burn it all down. This seems to be the way the world will feel about the Christians, saying, you had your turn, now it's our turn, and we don't want you around anymore. Calling the church the madhouse and saying, tear it down, burn it down. The Holy Spirit once asked me the question, why was beheading the method of execution for Christians during the tribulation? I didn't know, but I considered that God's punishment always seems to fit the offense that was committed. Therefore, I considered that for someone who misses the rapture, and they could have been a person for whom Jesus was not their head. Somebody who's trying to be a Christian, but they wouldn't let Jesus be Lord over them, be head over them. We're supposed to be the body of Christ, and He's the head of the body. But if you won't submit to Jesus, then you're sort of like trying to be a member of the body without the head. So I considered, when God asked me, why is beheading the method of execution for Christians after the rapture, it seemed to make sense that now, in order to get saved, you have to be willing to lose your own head in order to accept Jesus as your head. So I thought that sounded like it made sense to me. Apart from me, you can do nothing, Jesus said. Later, I would also learn the worldly reason for beheading, the more natural reason. It seems the only method of execution that leaves the vital organs healthy is beheading. And this world will harvest the organs of healthy victims immediately upon their death by beheading. That's just what I've heard along the way. Pretty awful. But next is a song about the police and military forces that are even now ready to take over. And the alphabet soup type agencies, Homeland Security, etc. In the event of an emergency, and I believe the rapture will be one, if nothing, it's probably going to be, there are those like Jonathan Kleck and others, I forget who suggested that we go up in the rapture as the missiles are coming down. So it's going to all, there are those who talk about the rapture and sudden destruction happening together at the same time. It's all going to happen simultaneously. Nothing will be the same again ever since after that. So I believe this song describes the way those individuals will feel as they are forced to carry out their orders that they will feel inside are wrong, and also the parties that they will attend in the midst of other suffering, much like the Nazis during World War II. So this song's called Hearts for Sale, the next song, and it seems to be describing those that are, for a while anyway, able to sort of lord it over others. Anyway, I'll just read it. Hearts for Sale. My spirit is winging, my soul is free. I'm doing my drinking in good company. The music's screaming, my feet are flying, everybody's laughing, nobody's crying. Sneaky suspicion, it drags me down. A nagging feeling, going round. Hearts for sale, going cheap. Hearts for sale, lovers leap. My belly's full, my glass is brimming. The women look so beautiful and I feel like singing. I'm going to have to stop here. I'll pick it up right where I leave off, okay?